Hey folks, so I've had a couple of people ask what type of self-hosted stuff do I use, and in my own environment at home that I've got, and I don't have it, no port boarding or anything, so I just have everything on my local LAN because I'm at home quite often. I don't need to worry about doing all sorts of other things like port forwarding or any of that. And what I often use at home, as you can see, is I have Nextcloud. So I click on Nextcloud and opens up a Nextcloud Git tier, my own self-hosted Git, a Sonic server, my Portainer for managing Docker as well, syncing, my full syncing tool. I even have Wayback Proxy as well, which we'll do a video on a bit later. I have my own CXNG search, and as well as I've got File Stash as well. So I've got all of these things at home that I'm hosting on a little Intel Nook. It's an Intel i5. It's got 16 gigs of memory, 500 gig hard disk, and as you can see, I haven't used too much of its storage, and I'm only using about 32% of the RAM, etc. And what am I using this on? Well, I'm using something called Casa OS. And basically, what this is, it's basically your personal cloud OS on your own machine. So basically, the aim is to make access to the Docker ecosystem more accessible for the home users. Now, you can do what I've did in some other videos where you can install Ubuntu server and you can use snaps, for example, for Nextcloud, and we can, and that's great. But not every piece of software is supported that way. So if you want to use something that's Docker related and to do pretty simply, you can use Casa OS. And how you get to install it is what I'm going to show you today. And what we have here is a fresh installation of Debian 12. No GUI or anything on top of that, just the basic installation that I've got. And we're going to use that as a base for CasaOS. CasaOS also supports Ubuntu as well, I believe, but I prefer to just use normal Debian. So in this case, we're going to do curl dash fssl https get.casaos.io. We're going to pipe this. We'll take that command and send it to sudo bash, and we're going to hit enter. And of course, the first thing it tells us, curl can't be found. So what we need to do is sudo apt install curl. Yes. Curl's obviously not installed in a fresh installation of Debian. Let's run that command again, hit enter. And here we go. It's busy doing all the checking and configuration that it needs to do in the background. And basically what it's going to do now for a bit, it's going to download the files and it's going to start installing it in the background. So we're going to let it do what it needs to do and come back once it's moved to a next step. Okay, so it's going to start putting in Docker now. Okay, so what it's done is installed CasaOS. That was actually quite quick. And now it's telling us to go to that web address. Because we're installing this on a server, my idea is to make sure you've actually installed it on a machine that uses a static IP. So let's open this up in the browser. Okay, so it is http 192.168.68.68, enter. And here we go. We get the welcome to Casa OS screen. We're gonna go. We're gonna choose a username. I'm gonna choose Scosh. I'm gonna give this thing a password. That must have at least 5 characters. I'm gonna hit create. And now we're good to go. Do we want to show feed newsfeeds from Casa blog? I'm gonna say no. You can say accept. And here you go. You have the basic installation like I do of CasaOS. I just gave my virtual machine just 9 gigs of memory and less hard drive space. And of course here you've got files and you can explore the local machine, but there's not much on it. So how do we install something? Well, out of the box, the official app store for Casa OS is got a limited amount of apps, but that's basically, you can pretty much be sure that these work and pretty easily by using them by just hitting install. So for example, in this case, let's say we want a Vault Warden, a self-hosted Bitwarden server. I'm going to hit press install and it's going to start installing this. So what it's doing in the background, it's busy actually in pulling down the Docker image and configuring it. So it can say continue the background and you'll see it's still actually installing Vault Warden. So it will take a couple of moments still. Okay, so it says it's downloaded a newer image. So let's press enter and open up Vault Warden. So we assigned it internally the IP of the server as well as a different port address. Yeah, so that would be how to install Vault Warden. You would do that and then go through the steps. Okay, so let's say we want something else instead. Calibra Web, I'm going to hit install. Okay, so it tells us by default admin123. Let it install it. Obviously, depending on the size of the application, will determine how long it takes to install. Okay, so that's done. So let's open up Libra Web. Okay, so that took a few moments to load. Now we remember it told us it was admin and admin123. Let's click login. Done save. And now we are logged into Calibra Web. Cool, just another option there. And let's do one more app. So hit on the plus sign. Now you could install a customized app or add in an external link, which we'll do another video at some other point once a little bit more familiar. Let's say you want to install syncing, so I'm going to just hit install. And let's say for this case, you want to use chatbot UI because AI is the rage at the moment. Okay, so let's just click on chatbot UI. And as you can see, that is installed. So folks, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, seeing how to install CastOS as well as installing apps. As you can see, it's been really easy on how to install apps. If you really want to install something there, you can just click on the menu and then hit uninstall and it would uninstall it. Folks, that's all for today. Leave your comments below. As always, thanks for watching and goodbye for now.